come to this today with a great deal of frustration, a great deal of sadness, and anger. For those of you who don't know, I grew up and I'm a member of Sartlip First Nation. You heard my chief earlier today. This division between the Crown and Indigenous people is one that I live inside my heart every day. It is one that brings me tremendous sadness that we have to continue in the way that we are today, where Indigenous people are being removed from their homelands by our police forces. We thought those days were long ago. They were as recent as yesterday. And today. Thank you. Now, and in the days to follow, unfortunately. You being here today, all of your faces, standing in support of Indigenous people to be able to say what they need to say to stand for their territories. Not their traditional territories. These are their territories today. It was framed earlier as we were on the street coming up here from Bobby that we were breaking our silence, and I want to say to you that it's been brewing in me to say something. But I want to tell you that I've been paralyzed. My words have been paralyzed. And they've been paralyzed because the situation is so complex that every time I try to say something, I think I shouldn't say it because I can't actually explain the complexity of this situation. No LNG! This situation is more complex than that. And every time that we distill it down to that, then we are not honoring the complexity of this situation. So let's be careful as we move forward. As we move forward, what we need in this province and what I and my colleagues have been working towards with this current government, because this is just the latest government in this province, what we have been working for is a legislative framework so that we can actually change the conversation. That has been what we've been working for. That is what we've been committed. That's the reason why I've been meeting with the Minister of Indigenous Relations in his office upstairs. That is what we are working towards. And as we do that, as we can put it in legislation, I know this is very complex, it's difficult to understand, but it has to happen. It must happen, or else we're going to continue to receive the same kind of advice, the same kind of legal advice that we always get, and the same kind of decisions will be made as the ones in the past where we've got the police moving in on Indigenous people in their homelands. That needs to change, and that is the commitment of I and my colleagues to continue that work.
Honor the fee system.
Thank you. Thank you, Haichka CM, Haichka CM, for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Sonia Furstenau. I am a colleague of Adam Olsen's with the BC Green Party. I'm honored to be here today. I'm grateful to all of you for standing up and for saying that we need a new story and a new future for Canada and for BC. We have been stuck in the same old story for so long, where people on their lands with their children have been forced to give up the things that matter the very most to them and for their survival and for their lives. We need a new story. And today is the beginning of that new story. Right now, all of you here are committing to a different story and a different outcome that doesn't involve RCMP arresting people on their lands. It's a new story that doesn't involve RCMP standing as children are taken away from their families on those lands. And so, I thank you for coming out and for showing the support, and I remain so deeply committed to work on this with you, with our caucus, and understand there are 3 people in this legislature who are opposed to LNG as a future for this province. And we will continue to give everything we've got into making this new story with you, together. Because that's the only way we're going to change these stories, is if we actually write the new story together. Thank you.